Hey guys, Anthony Medical SVG. I'm here with Bob Green from Houston, Texas, y'all, with Green, Klein, and Wood, Green Trial Law Firm.
Right.
And Bob's a policyholder attorney. We're in a new course here for SVG University. And the reason we're putting together a policyholder attorney course, because a lot of contractors watching this right now inside the U don't know what a policyholder attorney does. And what we want to do is briefly explain what a policyholder attorney does, why you should have him in your industry Rolodex ahead of time, or someone like him, depending on what state you're in, and also maybe some public adjusters as part of taking on this battle in the insurance claim process. It's a battle out there.
Oh yeah, it's getting worse and worse. They're coming up with new ways of doing things.
UPA, STUPA, anti-AOB laws. I mean, you name it. The contractor, which is oftentimes the first responder on a lot of these claims after storms like hailstorms, fire, flood, tornado, hurricanes, is dealing with a lot of moving parts to try to get that woman's roof on or get the house dried out. So guys, in this new course, we're going to introduce you to what a policyholder attorney does, also called a first-party attorney.
Yes.
Why you should have one in your Rolodex. When is it appropriate to bring someone like Bob in on your claim when you're dealing with the 3 Ds, defer, diffuse, defeat, deny, or an underpaid claim, and how to retain that relationship through the process so that hopefully your build project you're still getting your build project when it's done in post-settlement days, and when's an appropriate time to connect with someone like you, Bob, and then maybe briefly explain what a policyholder attorney does.
Yeah, I mean, what we do, and that's all we do, and it's a pretty small club, but we represent policyholders against insurance companies in order to get the money that the insurance companies have not paid in the adjustment. And I think part of the reason for you and I getting together on this training course is to expose people who want to be exposed to, we're going to have one session, I think, is how to read an insurance policy, which may give everybody a headache, but still it'll cover the basic things you need to look at, because they differ. Insurance policies differ from state to state and from coverage to coverage, and there's certain things you ought to be aware of if you're in this business to look out for. And then
like, is it an ACD only policy?
Right.
You might want to know that.
Right.
Do I have an $80,000 deductible? You might want to know that.
Yeah, or something like, is there a cosmetic exclusion?
Cosmetic exclusion
on a metal roof.
Lots of new changes in these policies these days.
Yeah, and there's lots of new changes in the way they're trying to get around issues also. I think we're also going to cover things like statute of limitations, SOL, you know what that stands for. And
shit out of luck.
Yeah, and how important that is, that you avoid that. And we're going to take you through really the trial of a couple of lawsuits and what we did to set the trial up, what we did during the trial, and what the results of that was. So just to give you a lot of times it helps to see the end game.
Right.
If you're doing the stuff from the beginning, you want to know where it all goes, at least in some cases.
Now, a lot of these guys watch this right now, usually, because I see them post on the page, hey man, I need an attorney in Arkansas. I just got $1 million deal and they turned it down, I got underpaid. And they're usually scrambling to find a policyholder attorney like yourself at the last minute. They have no idea who they're doing business with. They don't have a relationship. They don't have a contractual idea of how the relationship's to be set up. And they oftentimes enter going into a relationship blind and being a little angry later on because they didn't understand it. One of the things I like about your firm, you come to the Win the Storm conference, you've been on our panels, you're contractor friendly, is that you believe that some of these guys, and you've really reached out in some of our lunch and learns, to try to create that relationship ahead of time with the contractor and a PA so that you have a smooth, seamless process later on when there is a problem. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I mean, you need to have some kind of relationship, because you can get stuck and you're trying to get the best you can. All of a sudden you see that, look, we're 2 weeks away from statute of limitations. Well, you don't want to start hunting on the internet for a lawyer when you're 2 weeks away from it.
Then you might not even know how he operates.
Yeah, exactly. But if you have a relationship, even if that lawyer is not particularly interested in that particular case or that particular jurisdiction, I mean, you can always call us about the statute of limitation and any of the other lawyers who specialize in this, and they'll be glad to look at your policy. I know we will. be glad to look at your policy, tell you what the statute is, and it's very complicated. But we can look at the policy, look at the state.
And you're willing to do a quick policy review for free?
Yes,
Complimentary?
sure.
Yeah.
We don't want you missing that day.
Yeah.
Because then you lose out, the policyholder loses out, and there's no case that we get later on that might come out of that.
One of the complaints of contractors, Bob, and it's real, it's a real deal. There's only so many policyholder attorneys in America as it is. I think there's a shortage personally. Is that, hey, yeah, it's great, but I get $15,000, $20,000 claims. These guys aren't going to want to handle that. And it's true to some extent. If they're handling $500,000, $1 million, $10 million losses, you're probably not staffed, most policyholder attorneys, to handle $100,000, $15,000 claims. And so that's one of the complaints or issues out there. I think it's a real deal. But and what I explained to Bob when you and I talked is that guy, that contractor guy, I used to be when I was a sales guy before I was a sales manager, then I was an owner, and I know what it's like to be that sales guy walking around that bucket of files. We call files of contingency agreements, service agreements, AOBs, whatever, signed, and then some stage of adjustment, bought, denied, repair. And once they get, especially a top producer out there, they got the bucket, 40, 50% of those files are going right into bill. There's no problem. Great, well, we don't need a lawyer, public adjuster for those. Then you got 20 or 30% of those files that the sales guy takes on. He may even go hire his own engineer with the company, maybe do the infrared, really drag that cycle out because he thinks there's a chance. And then that same sales guy, project manager, estimator, whatever you want to call him, has that other 20%. Straight denial. Offered to pay for the vents on $1 million flat roof, but nothing on the roof. And he just goes, well, it's marginal, or I really just don't have time to fight those. Now, every owner watching this right now, especially you guys that got 5, 10, 15, 20 sales guys, you have those sales guys with those buckets. And the only jobs that the owner's paying attention to usually, especially the top producers, is the ones that are getting turned in with a check that are ready to build. And sometimes involved with the other 20%, which have a fighting chance. But they're almost never even aware of that other 20%. And what I challenge the owners or the contractors watching us right now, if you're an owner, sales manager, general manager, is take a look at those buckets, guys, because you might have some big claims on that church, that multifamily, that industrial facility that that sales guy is not equipped to handle, you don't have the time to handle, and you and I both know it's going in the garbage next month or next year because no one's going to do anything with it. Take a look at those and consider turning those over to someone that's equipped, like a public adjuster or a policyholder attorney, and the results might just surprise you.
Yes, because if that statute of limitations runs, you might as well put it in the trash because that's all it's worth then.
Yeah.
But we'll be glad to look at it. Other lawyers will be glad to look at it. And it won't, what does it cost you?
Nothing.
Just send us a policy and the facts, and we'll look at it and let you know what's going on. And we don't handle, for example, residential claims, but we work with other law firms that do. And that's true of most people who do this. So we can get you covered. There is a problem in the industry with a gap there.
Yeah.
But we're working on that.
Yeah.
We're working on that with our own relationship.
And the benefit, guys, might be that maybe he helps take a look at a policy on residential claim and give you or the property a little bit of advice to move on or to whatever you need to do in that situation. And then really to have that role, we call it the industry Rolodex, so you have somebody which is like a really seasoned sales guy with a law degree that can do all kinds of things a sales guy can't, to handle that 20% that are sitting in those file boxes, especially the large complicated ones, and going nowhere. And that's what we're hoping to do in this course, is introduce you guys to the players you need to have in that industry Rolodex to help recover some of those large losses that aren't going anywhere.
Yes, exactly.
So guys, we're excited about this course. Watch these chapters, learn what a policyholder attorney does, and then learn how to build that industry Rolodex. I think Bob's company here is licensed and operating in Colorado, Texas, Florida, New York.
New York, New Mexico.
New Mexico. So you put that down somewhere in the industry Rolodex and know that you got someone you can go to, but start that relationship ahead of time so that you're prepared in the process to have the players involved to get those claims resolved.
Exactly.
See you soon.